Have you ever stopped to look at a map and thought, what's up with that tiny sliver of land there in West Africa? That's the Gambia. It's a country so peculiar in shape and geography that it almost defies logic. Nestled snugly inside Senegal, it stretches like a ribbon along the Gambia River and opens out only to touch the Atlantic Ocean. It's the smallest country on mainland Africa, but its story is anything but small. Why does the Gambia exist at all? Why wasn't it absorbed into Senegal? And what's the deal with its name? The Gambia, this is a tale of rivers, colonizers, and a people's strength. And I promise, it's more fascinating than you might expect. Let's start with the name. It's believed to come from the Portuguese word cambio, trade or exchange, when they were the first Europeans to explore the region. But there's another theory, one that says the name derives from a local word, gamba, tied to a sacred vegetable used in ceremonies for elders. Either way, that definitive "they" in the name isn't just for show. It was deliberately added before independence to set it apart from Zambia. And even today, the Gambia and the Bahamas are the only two countries with a definite article in their official names. So why this peculiar shape? Why isn't the Gambia just part of Senegal? To understand, we need to rewind through centuries of history. Picture this. It's the 14th century, and this land is part of the Grand Mali Empire. Fast forward a bit, and the Portuguese arrive in the 1400s, turning the river into a highway of trade. Then the English come into the picture, buying exclusive trading rights, and suddenly this tiny strip of land becomes a focal point of European rivalry. Did you know that for a brief moment, the Gambia was ruled by a tiny European state, Courland, in modern-day Latvia? It didn't last long, but it's a strange little footnote in history. By the late 18th century, Britain had taken over, using the Gambia River as a strategic trade route. From then on, this narrow stretch of land became its own unique colony, surrounded on all sides by French-controlled Senegal. And that separation, started by colonial borders, would prove surprisingly enduring. When independence swept through Africa in the mid-20th century, the Gambia and Senegal found themselves on different paths. One French-speaking, one English-speaking, their colonial past carved distinct identities. Even attempts at unity, like the Senegambia Confederation in the 1980s, fell apart when the Gambia chose to preserve its sovereignty. The people of the Gambia had decided they were their own nation, narrow borders and all. But this independence hasn't come without challenges. A founding member of ECOWAS and a country working to grow through tourism, fishing, and regional partnerships. So here we are with a country that defies expectations, geographically improbable, historically rich, and fiercely independent. But what do you think? Should the Gambia remain a separate nation, or does a future united with Senegal make more sense? And are there other countries whose geography or existence you find just as curious? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the Gambia's fascinating story.